Hi, this is Brass Check, and we're recording this on October 5th, 2020. And this is both a news item and a demonstration example of how these people, and by these people I mean the criminal pharma shills, are operating during the COVID con. And this is an article that appeared just a few days ago, October 2nd, in a newspaper called The Mirror in the UK. And if you're looking for unhinged propaganda, you need look no further than the gutter tabloid press of the UK. They've really got it mastered. So here's their headline. Rare COVID-19 complications sees patients suffer psychosis and become suicidal. Expert says. The chief executive of the major Liverpool health provider said some COVID-19 patients in Liverpool become suicidal due to a rare complication of the disease causing psychosis. Let's start from just the foundation here. There's absolutely zero science, zero research, zero peer-reviewed published papers that back anything this dishonest, sinister lunatic is saying. Okay, he is literally making this up out of thin air without any scientific or medical basis. Okay, so I think it's time we start naming these people. His name is Joe Rafferty. Rafferty. He's the CEO of something called Mercy Care. Mersey Care. I think Mersey is like a nickname for Liverpool. Really should look up who this guy is. Maybe I'll do that later. But anyway, he's not we don't know what he is. He's a CEO. Which, believe me, is no qualification for anything except you're a good politician and a good bullshit artist. So anyway, let's go into the article. A rare complication of coronavirus sees patients suffer psychosis and become suicidal, an expert says. Joe Rafferty, CEO of Mercy Care, told Liverpool Council's Health and Wellbeing Board during the first wave of the pandemic, his staff did see referrals of some patients with the complication, which was the subject of a UK study earlier this year. I'd love to see that study. Of course, they don't cite it, they don't name it, they don't mention it. And what are you talking about earlier this year? This thing's only been a hot issue since March. Anyway, Mr. Rafferty told the Liverpool Echo, another great reliable publication, we're seeing people with COVID-related psychosis, really very ill. What does that mean? Suicidal, and about 80% of those individuals were not previously known to Mercy Care, so there has been some fundamental shifts in presentation across mental health services during wave 1 of COVID. Yeah, there was a spike of suicide among the young all over the world. We did a piece on that when this happened, because a lot of the young, it's a difficult time of life. They feel isolation more acutely than the rest of the population. A lot of them are working at low-wage service jobs, and so you killed them financially, you killed them socially, and you filled them with terror. And so if they did have any sort of vulnerabilities, you had a good chance of pushing them over the edge. So that's what actually happened, Mr. Rafferty, you sinister son of a bitch. So let's go on. Pardon my French. We also have done a very significant piece of work based on the Liverpool population, looking at population health and doing some new research against the evidence to look at how and when a mental health surge is likely to take place as a response to the first phase of COVID. Rather than go into the detail of that right now, the headline is that we anticipate over the next couple of years up to a 30% rise in requests for mental health input. That is everything from talking therapies upwards. Yeah, when you take away people's jobs, when you destroy their careers, when you destroy their ability to support themselves, when you interfere with their ability to interact with other human beings, yeah, I think you're going to see some mental health problems. Um, so yeah, he's right there. Uh, that there'll be an increase, he's right there. But this nonsense, listen to this lie. I mean, this is so obviously bullshit. We have also done a significant piece of work based on the Liverpool population, looking at population health and doing some new research against the evidence to look at how and when a mental health surge is likely to take place as a response to the first phase of COVID. I mean, he literally is saying nothing. And I love how he goes, well, rather than go into detail on that right now, let me just give you the headline. And this is how this entire thing has been handled. Yeah, somewhere we've got real research and real numbers, and they're not quite ready yet. But here's the headline. And to the great disgrace of all these journalists, uh, uh, so-called journalists, and these editors, and the people that publish this garbage, they just run this stuff without any evaluation whatsoever. Mr. Rafferty said significant impacts were likely to be felt by those already living with a mental health condition. No shit, Sherlock. And highlighted the fact that after the first wave, the severity of patients' condition was worse by the time they accessed services other than COVID. One of the things that happened in the UK is they didn't take care of people that had any other physical or mental challenge during COVID. I mean, worse than the United States. The United States was horrific, but Britain was even worse. They just stopped all other medical services. So there was no counseling available. There was no help available. Um, while we're on it, I just have to look up this Joe Rafferty character of Mercy Care. And I really think we need to name these people. Um, if I had more resources, I would put somebody full-time on creating a guide, a book that names all these people and names what they did. Because a lot of them are going to get away with it. They're going to go their merry way, their careers are going to be fine, and they have done incalculable harm to innumerable people. So here we go. Joe Rafferty, Chief Executive, appointed 2012. Before coming to Mercy Care, that's MERSEY, has nothing to do with the word mercy. He held the post of Director of Commissioning Support at the NHS, that's National Health Service UK, Commissioning Board, having national responsibility for the design and delivery of a significant component of the commissioning side reforms outlined in the white paper, Liberating the NHS. Oh, here it is, Liberating the NHS. We did a quite extensive interview with an actual healer, a nurse who became a PhD and a professor teaching nursing. And maybe we'll put the link below where he talks about how the COVID con has been used to gut the National Health Service in the UK. So we can see that Mr. Rafferty, his interest in liberating the NHS has some roots. And of course, that liberation, I'm sure, is to destroy the service. Mercy Care Chief Executive Joe Rafferty has been named in the Health Service Journal's list of 100 most influential people in health. He was named number 80, up 14 places from the previous year in a list compiled by the influential healthcare magazine. Okay. Chief Executive Joe Rafferty reveals the new name for our state-of-the-art MSU Mercy Care, state-of-the-art whatever, Mercy Care recently began work on a new state-of-the-art medium secure hospital, which will be based at Magwell Health Park in Ashworth. All right, so you can read this guy's blog, you can read his history, and you can let's see, the World News. I don't know who they are. They picked up his garbage, non non-science story. Um, what else do we see about this guy? Not much, but he is representative of a class of absolutely despicable human beings who are building their careers off promulgating sinister lies. And I believe you can sue me, Mr. Rafferty, in UK court. Why don't you? I got it. I have the money to go over to the UK and sit in the dock or whatever it is. Um, why don't we go over your science that you've represented as science? In fact, I beg you to do that because there's great slander, and I forget what the term is in the UK, but it's very easy to sue somebody for saying defaming you. Well, I'm defaming you, Mr. Rafferty, publicly and notoriously. And my claim is that your science claiming that the spike in suicides is based on some rare psychiatric manifestation of COVID is unsupported scientifically. And I'm also asserting that somebody that does such a thing is a despicable human being. Take me to court. I welcome it. I invite it. Anyway, that's brass check.